Hi, Patrick here, FG to Wheel View, and we are here for another installment of Dollar Theater. Dollar Theater is an ongoing series started by a good friend Hobbs Horror, in which we talk and discuss films and review films that we have gotten for $1.25 or less. They originally started as Dollar Tree Theater, but since Dollar Tree does not do movies anymore, we just dropped it down to Dollar Theater. And this is movies that you get for $1.25 or less. Since I go to the library and I get mine for far less, I'm able to talk about it a lot. And today we're going to be talking about a classic science fiction adventure, Forbidden Planet. Yeah, I gotta say, man, it's been years since I watched this, but so good. It's so good. So, Forbidden Planet stars has an all-star cast in it too. You get it. The cast of it is amazing. You had Walter Pidgeon, Anne Francis, Leslie Nielsen, Warren Stevens, Jack Kelly. That's right, Jack Kelly from Maverick. Richard Anderson from the $6 Million Man. Earl Holliman, Richard Dix, James Drury, um, Roger McGee. Robby the Robot introduces Robby the Robot. First appearance of Robby the Robot. Les Tremaine as the narrator, who's uncredited, but that's his voice, along with James Best, who played Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane in Dukes of Hazzard, and William Boyett, who played Sergeant McDonald on Adam 12. Like I said, this is, Les Tremaine. We just talked about him a couple of episodes ago. He was in North by Northwest. He also appeared as mentor for many of us. Might remember him as mentor on the old Shazam series back in the mid '70s. So the story starts off in the 23rd century, and even before Star Trek, there's a federation, but it was called the United Planets. Well, the United Planets sent a small cruiser, a light cruiser, out to check out a distant planet called Altair 4, to investigate a colony. A ship had gone missing, and it was supposed to, report back. And they lost contact with it on Altair 4. So Commander Adams leads 18 men on a small cruiser to go see what has happened to the ship, if anything has survived. Get some information as they fly faster than light. And this is the first time in science fiction movies that this had been portrayed. By the way, this is the first time that man has flown faster than light in any movie. But they go faster than light, and as they approach the planet, they slowly start to break, and as they do this, they get scanned, and a voice comes on there, and Commander Adams and the voice on the planet acknowledge each other, but the voice on the planet warns Commander Adams not to land. Do not land on the planet. But of course, Commander Adams he's got his instructions, so he goes ahead and they land the ship. So Adams and his lieutenants, Jerry Farman and Doc, the ship's doctor, I believe, Doc Ostro, they land, and they are amazed to see an amazing fast vehicle approach their ship. And it turns out to be Robby the Robot, and he's there to pick them up to take them back to the settlement. And so they get inside this car and they zip over there and they meet Dr. Morbius. Morbius, not Morpheus, Mobius, more like the superhero movie. And they take him to Dr. Morbius's his home, and it is an exotic home, and they're amazed to see him. And not only is Dr. Morbius in great health and vigor, but he also he's made a lot of he's discovered a lot about the planet and the people that lived there once before. We also find out that Dr. Morbius also has a beautiful daughter named Altera, and we find out that the people, not only from the previous people called the Krell, had lived there and been destroyed, but so had the rest of the survivors of Dr. Morbius' ship. They have met a tragic end, and several savages attack including the destruction of the ship when some survivors tried to blast off. Could not figure out what was going on. Dr. Morbius' wife, who had their daughter, she stayed, but she died of natural causes. But everybody else, other than Dr. Morbius and Altera, has died in a really bad manner, and they can't figure it out. They call it a planetary force. Of course, they come back the next day to get more information, and Farman, seeing that Altera is basically, sparkly white, he decides that he's gonna, like, hey, maybe we should kiss. So he can figure out what that means. So Farman's, he's smooching on Altera. She really doesn't know what she's really doing. Nothing. She's not really feeling anything for him anyway. And but of course, Adam sees Farman taking advantage of her, and does not like that. But he also doesn't like the idea that Altera is wearing a lot of skimpy outfits that shows a lot of skin. Well, yeah. Well, what red male's not going to be turning their head at Anne Francis, right? But of course, he talks to her and says, you basically are, my men have been on the ship for over a year, and there's 18 of them, and basically, if you prance around like that, it's not a good thing. So they go ahead, and Adams and Ostro then go to see Morbius again, and they start breaking down into what's going on. After Adams apologizes to Altera, and we see the sparks fly between Altera and Commander Adams. But they find out that the Krell were a massively advanced civilization. They were they're basically a million years ahead of us in terms of technology. And they had created their planet into just an unimaginable utopia. Anything that they could have created or dreamed of, they could. Their intellect was beyond peer. It was just an amazing civilization. And Dr. Krell, he finds their labs, and during the investigation of his own investigation, he gambles, and he basically gets a jolt of intellect, and it doubles his intellect, and he's able to understand a little bit more of what happened to the Krell. They were destroyed in a single night. The whole planetary was wiped out in a night. The planet didn't blow up, but everybody on the planet died. This is way before. This is like millions of years before Dr. Krell and his ship got there, but he's able to ascertain what had happened. What's really remarkable is the Krell, all their equipment is still running smooth. Everything is running just as it seems, unlimited power, and just a massive complex. And they find out that the civilization was being run by over 9,000 thermonuclear reactors. That's what was powering the planet. Of course, Adam sees that, and he's going like, "Wow, we got to share this with everybody. We just can't sit on this." Of course, Morbius and Adams disagree, and that night things start to happen. A man who is one of the crew who is fixing some equipment, he is killed by an unseen force. And Dr. Morbius says, he's alarmed. He's saying, oh no, it's come back. The planetary forces come back, and he's afraid he's going to see what's going to happen to him, before it's going to happen to him again. And so they're trying to figure out what is causing these strange deaths. More men die, and the Doc and Adams, they decide on a gamble. They have to gamble. One of them has to try to improve their own intellect to find out what is going on before they're all killed, everybody. And so they take off for one. Commander Adams tells he leaves his man in command and says, if we're not back within a certain amount of time, you go. Don't look back. Don't wait for us. And then they go over to Morbius again, and they find out exactly what has happened, even though they fought it off the night before, but they don't know what it is until they figure it out. And there's a big clue there about what is going on and who exactly is this planetary force. Um, yeah, this is a fantastic movie. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. I remember seeing this like decades ago, but I haven't seen it since. It's one of the reasons why I was so happy to grab it off the library shelf when it came in. This is from Warner Brothers right here. It's a snapper case. Um, Unfortunately, the one bad thing about this is that there's no special features. That's probably the only thing I really did not like about this. But otherwise, the movie itself it's crazy good. It's crazy good. The cast is great. They all sell out for it. This is the first movie that featured an all electronic soundtrack. All electronics, no strings, no piano, just all driven by computer. Driven by computer. It was nominated for a couple Oscars, did not win, but it made a lot of money. The movie was made for about $2 million, and at the box office they made about $2.8 million, which is a lot of money back then. And of course, as it became more and more famous, more and more well known, it topped a lot of best of lists. Best science fiction movie, best American science fiction movie. And of course, there's a lot to be, there's a lot to, like I said, the cast is amazing. The reception was great. This is actually, this is one of the preserved movies from the Library of Congress. They took this aside and preserved it as being important, culturally speaking. So the film opened over 100 cities in Cinescope Eastman color. So this is a movie is in color. One of the rare movies at the time to go color. This is 1956, so we did not get full color until the late 60s, and in some cases even to the early 70s. So everybody really liked this movie. Of course, some people saw it as a little bit of a comedy. I can rest assure you, it was not played for laughs. It was not played for comedy. It was not played for a spoof. Everybody gave their all. Yes, you go look at it now, and yeah, some of the things were Some of the things were, a little outdated. Of course, the point of view toward the woman. Like, oh, you gotta cover yourself up. Of course, again, it was back in the day. So you can't blame anybody for that, nor should you mention it at all. It was part of what it was. Robby the Robot obviously became a massive hit. He appeared in, not as Robby the Robot from Forbidden Planet, but he did later on star in Lost in Space. That was Robby the Robot, and he starred as the robot in Lost in Space. Like I said, the American Film Institute nominated the film as one of his top 10 science fiction films, and the score was nominated for AFI's 100 years of film score. So I mean, this movie has awards and just respect, and has tons of stars in it, future stars in it. If you don't know a lot of the, if you see someone like Leslie Nielsen in Airplane, you're like, wow, what else did he do? Well, just go back and take a look. I really enjoyed this. I hope you did too. If you're new to the channel, thanks for watching. I put out Dollar Theater every Monday at noon. And if you want to come out and hang out and watch it and drop a comment or even a suggestion, you never know what I'm going to get. If you do have a suggestion or want to make a suggestion, the best way you could do that is look at any of my library hall videos. All those will count for Dollar Theater. All those will count. Anything I have in library halls as far as movies go will count for Dollar Theater. So if you see something, let me know. I'm sure we can cover it. Drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think of the review. Let me know if you've seen this movie and what you think about it. I'd like to hear your thoughts. This was a lot of fun, and we will see you for the next one. We have We're doing a special 3-week run of a series starting next week, and we will tell you that right now. We'll tell you that the next week when we run it. We're going to be running that for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So, all right, that's it for us. Thanks for watching, and we will talk at you soon. Peace.